Kyle, what's your panic meter for Dallas? Because they could not stop Kyler Murray in that offense, and that star-studded defense did not look very well at all today.
As far as my panic meter goes, I would say probably a 5, maybe a 6, because Kevin, I'm just going to be honest with you. Is this going to be just be the same old Dallas? They've been one of the top tier teams in the NFL throughout most of the year, and they've already clinched their division in the NFC East. Really, there hasn't been that much competition compared to anybody outside of Dallas in that division this year. But Dallas needed this game against Arizona. There's no doubt about it. Just because even if they didn't, even if they had won this game, let's say for example, even if they hadn't advanced their seeding in the playoffs, had like gotten another higher seed, at least they would maintain the same position. Well, with this loss, now they're down to the 4 seed because you had teams like Tampa and you had teams like LA win their respective games in week 17, and now they have hopped Dallas. So that's a huge blow for Dallas moving forward. And going into this game, there's no doubt about it that Arizona was clearly the more they were the team that was definitely struggling out of the two. Just because Dallas looked like absolute world beaters last week against Washington, where they put up, I think it was like 56 points, beat them like 56-14. Like it wasn't even close. And then you lay an egg like this against Arizona,
At
it's
home, nonetheless.
it's unacceptable. And this was a game, it's like you mentioned. Arizona was winning this game from basically wire to wire. And that it really didn't take it to the fourth quarter for Dallas to finally kind of get some rhythm, get some momentum to kind of make it a game at the end. But give credit where it's due. Arizona came to play today, despite the fact that the month of December was not very kind to them, and they were able to get a huge road win over a very good team in Dallas. So, with Arizona kind of, I guess, fixing some of the issues that they've been dealing with the last month, now they're kind of in the mix to hopefully improve their record that they're trying to finish off at 12-5. And Dallas is kind of looking at the same position. They're kind of looking at the same outlook compared to Arizona at this current moment in time. But I don't know why, Kev. It just seems like now Dallas is kind of slipping into their old ways where they've been getting a lot of hype the last couple months, maybe feeling themselves a little too much after that huge win against Washington last week, and then they have a game like this where they let it slip against Arizona. So I'm not gonna say it's a I'm not gonna say it's full blown panic and say that, oh yeah, Dallas is screwed. They're gonna get a first round exit. I'm not gonna go that far yet, but it just seems like Dallas is kind of slipping back into their own ways. When something looks like it's gonna go wrong, it tends to go that way. I'm just saying that it could be happening once again. But I'm gonna have my panic meter at like a 5 or a 6 with them.
So I'm gonna actually increase that meter to about a 6 or a 7, only because I'm looking at their previous 4 games because they were also on a respective win streak of their own. To start it off, they played the Saints, and no disrespect, they didn't have Alvin Kamara. They were playing Taysom Hill. Again, Kyle and I have mixed feelings with him because to us, he's not necessarily a quarterback in this league. You got the dub. It is what it is. Then you play Washington. Then you play the Giants. And then you play Washington again and absolutely blow the doors off them, right? So none of those teams jump out the page to really say that was competition. Arizona's the best team they've played in a month because the team before that, they played the Raiders, and the Raiders beat them 36-33, and I believe that was the Thanksgiving game. And right
Mm-hmm.
before that, they had lost to the Chiefs 19-9. So legit, they have not played a consistently good team in almost 2 months since the Chiefs. Dallas literally is like this mythological creature that everybody says exists. And then at the end of the year, when they're like, well, where is he? Kind of just disappears and ends up being like a fictional character, like a fucking like illusion in the clouds or something. Like, I thought I saw something. Like the boy that cried wolf, dude. Dallas is gonna win. Dallas, it's Dallas is and they fall to shit. You know what I'm saying? So I hate when Cowboys fans are always like, bro, it was a fluke. Bro, we've been dominating. Haven't you seen what we've been doing? We have a defensive player of the year in Trayvon Diggs, who Kyle mentioned today, told me before we started recording, has given up over 1,000 yards to opposing receivers this season, even though he leads the NFL with what, 11 picks, 12 picks?
11.
So you know, you're worshiping a false god here because he is a great person at ball hawking, but when it comes to actual coverage, he's pretty dog shit. So let's calm it down with defensive player of the year when you got fucking Darius Leonard responsible for 10 turnovers as a linebacker. Okay? So calm the fuck down. If anybody's gonna get it on Dallas, it's Micah Parsons as a rookie. But again, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, Dallas's defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Dallas's offense couldn't get it going to the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott was the leading rusher on a team with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Now, again, I understand completely that they were not in a position to run the ball for the majority of this game. But you're telling me Zeke couldn't get more than 16 yards in the first quarter? Because it was only 3-0 after one quarter. Obviously, Arizona scores 10 in that second quarter, but you're telling me there was no room for any type of rush at all? Like there was no possibility that Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore's offense just could not run the ball at all. One of the best lines in football couldn't create any space at the line of scrimmage because it just seems like that Dallas has gotten away from running the football this half of the season, and they're putting all their eggs in one basket on Dak Prescott. And as great as Dak has been, that's not enough. And I get it. The defense locked up in the fourth quarter and held Arizona to 3. They finally stepped up, but you can't put all this pressure on Dak and expect to win when you're down double digits the entire game. I mean, for God's sakes, what is this man supposed to do? He's not Superman. Like he's doing everything he possibly can to keep this team alive. Next week, you got a surging Philadelphia Eagles team. Granted, I expect Dallas to win, and we'll get into predictions next week. But I'm looking at that game and I'm saying, could this be a revealing game for Dallas because Philly's on a roll right now, trying to get a wild card spot. Dallas is already clinched. They can't fall lower than 4 because they're a division winner. So it's like, do they rest and let Philly win? Do they try to compete to get back into the 3 or 2 spot? I don't know. And I think Philadelphia could potentially expose them with Jalen Hurts' confidence and the resurgence of this run game. So we will see what happens.